I wanted you to take a look at this group. You know, you really have to wonder whether or not this room can really, there's still room to run. Is there? I mean, I know we have a lot of volatility now, but is there for the longer term maybe?
I think yes. I would. But the short answer would probably be yes. I mean, really, what this whole last few months have done with the lockdown has really shown just how important the services and products of these companies are in this situation. So while that cannot continue forever as restrictions are eased and sort of life gets back to some kind of normal, I think there's going to be a sort of carryover effect for months and probably years to come. And the companies themselves have made some very wise choices in sort of what to focus on and how to compete in this time. And I think they're setting themselves up for some success through the future.
So we see a lot of price target raises on Apple in particular today. What is it about Apple that you think everybody likes so much? I mean, one of them was Bank of America, for example, a $390 target. What is it about Apple that stands out?
Well, Apple's a leader in so many ways. You know, obviously it's a market leader, but it also, you know, it's actually has a lot of, it's looked to as a leader in tech and as well as even community. So the announcement this week that they're going to actually start reopening their stores, I think was very welcome news to a lot of people. I mean, their stores are almost, you know, social gathering places more than retail stores, but they certainly know retail. And I think it's going to boost the company's image as well as their sales. Not to mention it's going to provide some relief for everyone who broke their iPhone during the lockdown and has a cracked screen. But really, one of the best things they did during this time was release the iPhone SE. And that's sort of indicative that they've been pretty consistent about their product and service release strategy. So the iPhone SE, the demand has apparently been very high. A lot of pent-up demand for that phone because it's a very good design. It still has the home button, and the newer iPhones, that's a harder thing to come by, that older design, which has a lot of appeal. So I think there was a lot of pent-up demand for that one. And let's remember, this company hasn't even released a 5G phone yet. That's supposedly coming in the fall. So there is definitely a lot of room for upside in the coming months for Apple.
Yeah, and we know the popularity of the AirPods as well. Tell me about Facebook. Something that caught your attention is the hiring that Facebook is doing for some of the plans going forward. Tell us about that. Yeah,
so Facebook, you know, it's spoken a bit about its workforce. It's going to do some hiring, and a good chunk of that hiring is not going to happen in Silicon Valley. On top of that, with all the sort of working from home that is affecting everyone, including the tech companies, Facebook sort of made the unusual move of announcing that they're going to enable that even more going forward and distribute their workforce more, which is probably a positive sign, although it might not be quite so positive for the paychecks of some of those people. They actually said there'd be an adjustment for living outside the very high cost of living Silicon Valley area. So they're definitely making a lot of adjustments. They're also making adjustments to their competitive set. It seems pretty clear to me now Facebook sees Zoom as a competitor. They've had recent upgrades to Messenger. They upgraded Facebook Live a little bit so that it's getting more play. I would not be surprised if they take that further, turn it into more of a full-featured video chat and sort of conference hosting platform. You know, and doing more things along those lines.
Do you think we could ever see some sort of merger between Facebook and Zoom?
You know, before this crisis, I think that would have been a possibility. I think Zoom's price tag is extremely high, much higher than it used to be. But there's been a lot of talk on like who will make the play. At Zoom, will they keep making a go of it for themselves? See, the thing about Zoom, it's like it looks great right now. How's it going to look in a few months? And you know, it could be this sort of rapid rise, rapid fall situation. I think they've actually been pretty smart too, and I think they've put all the things in place to make that not happen. But you know, that's also this whole crisis has also put scrutiny on their terms of service, privacy policy. There are some sort of chinks in the armor of Zoom that I think might make companies a little bit wary. But yeah, that's certainly it's being bounced around in a lot of boardrooms in Silicon Valley and beyond.
Sure. So what are your final thoughts on this, Pete? You know, what's our takeaway from this interview when we look at these high flyers, these names that are hot at this point. What do you say to folks? What's the final thought here?
Well, I think the one we haven't talked about is Amazon. And in my view, Amazon is the one best posed to kind of own the future of this space. I mean, if anyone has benefited, I think the most in terms of being a crucial service in this lockdown and will continue to do so, it's Amazon. Even with the delivery times for its sort of primary e-commerce business sort of going up, I mean, people are still dependent on it. Everyone's still seeing all those vans and those trucks. And people, frankly, just need their stuff. So Amazon's whole model, I think, is sort of the most long-term potential here. And, you know, on top of that, think about all the Alexa and ambient computing technology it has, and how everyone working from home has begun to rely more and more on that. So Amazon, I think, in terms of this spring, the long-term jump from all of this, all of these crises the past little while, I think is going to be the one in pole position.